I was driving down Interstate 521 south of Sumter, South Carolina. Suddenly I come up on an accident. A convertible had run off the road and impacted a guardrail next to the highway. I was one of the first responders and was amazed by what happened in the next few minutes. Let's skip forward just in case you were a little bit squeamish. I'd sat there holding her head for 34 minutes. Unrelenting 34 minutes, waiting for the paramedics to show up. Finally, the lady regained enough to tell me, "Hey, is my baby okay? How's my baby?" Well, most of you could imagine what happened to an egg sitting in the back seat of your car as you impact an immovable object. How would you feel if that egg had your eyes, or your husband's hair, or your wife's nose? Today I'd like to talk to you first about the need for child restraint devices. Second, how to use them correctly. And finally, how many times we've witnessed idiots driving down the street without regard for public safety, and we do nothing. I'll begin by telling you a little bit more about the accident I witnessed. That egg we're talking about earlier would fly at approximately highway speeds until it stopped by another immovable object. Problem is, we're not talking about eggs here. We're talking about children, offspring, your flesh and blood. By far the most common type of injury or accident involving children are those that also involve motor vehicle collisions. According to the National Center for Statistics and Analysis, nearly 250,000 children are injured every year in car accidents. Of these, approximately 2,000 die from their injuries. The failure to wear a seatbelt or use a child seat is a contributing factor in more than half of the cases involving children who die in car accidents. Not only is an unrestrained child a potential distraction to the driver of the vehicle, but also failure to wear a seatbelt dramatically increases the chance that child will suffer much more serious injury and death. Well, I'm sure you can see the need for people to restrain their children. You ask me, why is this guy talking to me? I use child seats every time I put my son or daughter in the back seat of the car. I asked you, using the correct device? Is it the right size, and is it fitted for that child? Have you actually thought about that? You can see that it isn't difficult to understand why we should. Now what if you were driving down the street, and see this blatant stupidity taking place? You could be the Good Samaritan and try to stop the driver, persuade him to use the proper smarts next time. You could report it to police if you were in a country that went against the law. Or my personal favorite, you could walk away from the speech and think, this guy's a genius. He's opened my eyes. He should go on Letterman. Well, I only wish it were that easy. Let's get organized a little bit and I'll finish my story. We'll just hope you do something. Tonight I've told you some alarming statistics, some personal feelings, and finally I've jarred your psyche into realizing that this happens more than we would like it to. I was putting the young lady in the ambulance after holding her neck and she asked me about her baby. Well, let's shorten it even further. We found the baby in a tree about 200 yards from the car, hanging upside down in her child seat. Absolutely untouched. Mom forgot to hook it to the car. What if the kid in the back looks like you? You say, how could this be? I use child devices every yada yada yada. Does your babysitter drive? I only hope I've opened your eyes a little to the need for devices that protect you, me, and the other motorists from distraction, and the let's hope this never happens to you chance that this was you walking upon this accident. Thank you for your time and have a great night.